today is the first week of spiritual empowerment in Salvation Ministry, and you're invited. Now, haven't gotten that out of the way. There's so much to share with you. There's so much to put on the table, and too much is going on. And in my opinion, for a very long time, I have the belief that so much is put out in the system on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, for us as a people, as a region, as a state, to tackle, to digest, and to make decisions on, as a electorate and as a people. And as far as the NigerDelta self-determination movement is concerned, which is a movement that is 6 years old this year. It started off in 2014 during the national conference, when it was convened, so that I would use the opportunity to inform our people in the NigerDelta region as to what is going on, or what was going on at that time at the national conference. Even though I was a federal government delegate nominated by the then President Goodluck Jonathan as his nominee, I actually fought the cause of NigerDelta people and the region. Particularly in the area of resource ownership and 100% resource management, control and management of our resources. Those are history, as they will say, but definitely history is made up of facts and truths and figures. So, Saving the NigerDelta with Q Bricks is our program, your program, my program. Even though the responsibility for the program, both financially and maybe psychologically, is the burden is on me as a person, but it is a burden I have chosen to take on, because I believe in the power of media, in the power of disseminating information, and disseminating information in a way that it is the truth. And luckily for us, since we've been on air since 2012, which is 8 years ago, we have not had issues. We may have had issues of content that is frowned upon, but issues we have not had is issues of, say, this is a lie, or this is fake news, or whatever. So we give God the glory for that. Now, having said that, let us first of all go back a little before we come to today. On the 19th or so, NigerDelta self-determination movement, after a meeting, wrote a letter and sent that letter off to the newly appointed chairman of the South-South Governors Forum, in the person of the governor of Delta State, Okowa. Now, it was sent to him in his capacity as chairman of the South-South State, what I prefer always to call as the NigerDelta states. And a copy went to each of the other 5 governors, irrespective of their political party. That is, it also went to Edo State. It also was published. Now, a letter like that is public document. It's not a letter. It's not a private letter to the governors. It's not a secret letter. It's not a letter based on security information. It is a letter of concern based on issues that the movement believe is very critical to to what is happening in Nigeria today and how it affects us, which is that over the last 5 to 6 years, the issue of insecurity of Nigeria has degenerated to such a level that the police, through no fault of their own, the army, their role is questionable, is unable to hold back Boko Haram, is unable to hold back the killer headsmen. The government itself is unable to uphold the constitution, where it concerns the rights of indigenous people who own the land and the resources. We also have seen the graduation at a very fast pace of the persecution of Christians, and we have also seen the helplessness, if you like, that Christians feel, and the fact that helplessness is also about the fact that the sheep feel that the shepherd, that is the leaders, the Christian leaders, are really not able to rise up to the occasion. I'm not criticizing spiritually. I'm criticizing the fact that we are Christians and we are led by people that we have accepted our spiritual leaders. It is only people who are alive that can praise God. It is in the Bible. It is, and that is why God finds it necessary to keep us alive, even though in the Bible God also says that He has the capacity to call the mountains and the trees and the valleys to do certain things if that is what He wants to do, because He is God Almighty and He has that capacity. But of course, it is also very clear that God prefers you and I, believers, to praise Him and to honor Him and to worship Him in whatever ways that He has detailed for us, in truth and in with our heart, with our body, and with our soul. So if these are the things that we believe in, anything that stops us from doing that, unless if it is a choice that we have made as believers and as Christians. But if we have not made this choice and we find ourselves as Christians in any country, not just Nigeria now, in any country, if we find ourselves unable to believe in God and to show that openly, and to demonstrate what we believe in the Bible in the way that we believe it, if we're not able to demonstrate that, then something is fundamentally very wrong with where we are, and therefore where we find ourselves, and also fundamentally wrong within our own system, that we are unable, that our leaders are also unable to lead us to stand up for these rights and this justification that is a basic human right, to choose who and what you believe in and worship, and in the way and manner in which you believe and worship, as long as my rights as a Christian is not going to infringe on or stop any other believer in whatever he or she believes in, then there is a problem. So this is a burden, and for me personally as a believer, it is a serious burden and has been for years. Now, that is on the issue of the problem of being a Christian in Nigeria exercising my rights as a Christian. Nigeria as a country is a secular state. The governance of Nigeria is not and should not be based on your beliefs, whether you're a Christian or you're a Muslim or you're a Buddha or whatever you are. If you are in government, it does not give you the right to impose your religion or your culture or your language on any other person. That's why it is a secular, that's why Nigeria is a secular country. So your belief should be able to stop you from being corrupt, even if others around you are corrupt, even if others around you are stealing, even if others around you are telling lies, even if others around you are perpetrating evil against another person. You don't have to do that because you are a Christian and you believe that that is wrong. That is allowed. But what is not allowed is people killing other people because they believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and stuff and those type of beliefs. So these are the things that we're battling with. That is on one side. The thing that primarily led to the decision of the NigerDelta self-determination movement to write the letter to the governors. And in writing the letter to the governors, it was posted, it was mailed to the governors by DHL. And since this was mailed around the 20th or so, and we are today, today is the 4th of March. So it's a good 2 weeks when, am I correct? It's close to, it's within 2 weeks now that these letters are mailed. They're mailed by DHL. There is a telephone number on the letter. Well, the letters may not have gotten to the governors, and the letter has an address. So I do not personally, or neither does the NigerDelta Self-Determination Movement organization, do not expect every governor to pick up their phone and give the convener a call or visit the office. But what we do expect as electorate is that somebody will pick up the phone by now and say, I am calling from so government house, and I have been directed to say to you, we have receipt of your letter and that we are replying you. I think that is the least that the NigerDelta Self-Determination Movement expects from the governors and their offices to do, because we have raised issues of life and death to them. Even if they don't believe in it, or they don't want to be part of it, or they think they shouldn't be involved in the issue of life and death, they should respond to the fact that they have received the letter and that they will do nothing about it because they don't believe that they should do something. Whatever reason that they have, they should give it to us. We are the electorate. We put them there. And it may not seem like that, but really and truly we do have the capacity as a people of this region. Even if there is only 100 of us, 1,000 of us, 1 million of us, we have the capacity to say that we no longer have confidence in their governance if they are not going to participate in the process of discussing openly our concerns that there is serious terror on ground. It is no more a speculation. You can feel it, you can smell it, you can literally taste it in the air in the Niger Delta. If you look at what happened in Delta State, and if you look at the story, you listen to the stories that are coming out in Delta State, if you think it's not happening, take a drive down to from Obirikwere, take a drive. Go to Okrika, go to Abonima, take a drive to from Obirikwere to Mbodo, where my relatives used to live before the war, and I used to go and spend holidays in that village called Mbodo. Take a drive down there. Take a drive from the airport, between the airport and Ubima. Look to your left and look to your right. You will see that people's land have been occupied by headsmen. But even if the owners have sold the land to them, we have a right to be concerned as Rivers people, because you can sell your land, but when that sale is going to be a bounce of ground for danger for the rest of the people of Rivers State, there is a need for concern. So that is the reason. Even 2 days ago, when killers attacked Kaduna State and killed indigenes of Kaduna State, the governor of Kaduna State came out and apologized to the people that were attacked, that he is sorry of his inability to protect them. This is somebody who today says one thing, yet the other day he paid foreigners, foreign headsmen, to stop killing foreign Mietiala, foreign headsmen some couple of years ago. He paid them our hard-earned money from NigerDelta that they are collecting as allocation. He paid it to people who were coming into Kaduna to kill mainly Christians. He owned up to it. So this topic of discussion is not something that we should be afraid of. This is the reality. The president of Nigeria, long before this time, has said clearly that the people coming into Nigeria are not Nigerians. They're coming from Libya, they're coming from Niger, they're coming from Chad, they're coming from places like that. In Chad, the government of Chad is executing people that are identified as Boko Haram. And yet, our government is sending a presidential jet to go and bring in people that have been identified as members of Boko Haram from Niger, from the Republic of Niger, and bring them back to Nigeria. And then we have governors in the Niger Delta that think that if they don't discuss it publicly, we should assume that they're discussing it privately. No. We cannot make such assumptions because we don't know. The governors of the Niger Delta states must discuss with us, the people, not with federal government. It's not federal government that is at risk. It is us. So there is no topic. There is nothing like we're discussing with government privately. No. You must tell us what you're discussing with government. Now, yesterday, day before yesterday, we have seen somebody get up and push a bill again while our own senators are seated there. We acknowledge their incapacities, which is that the people raising these bills are more than them by 2 states, by 6 senators. But we must see them doing something even while they are handicapped. When you raise a bill to say that people should not talk freely, then you are raising a bill to say that people should not protest anymore in this country. Then people are talking about Okowa just used Delta State people's money to assist the army in setting up a barrack or set up something to do with the military. Our governors should not be funding the military. It is not the responsibility of states to fund the military or to fund the police even. Because if you're funding the military, on what purpose are you funding the military? If you have money to fund the military, you might as well have your own military that you can control. There are criminals everywhere in the 36 states in Nigeria. There are criminals all over Africa, all over the world. I hate criminals. I do not like criminality. So anywhere there are criminals, they must be fished out and face the law. But when a state government has done something for you that you don't even deserve. The Nigerian army, government should not, state government should not be building, using our money to build accommodation for the Nigerian army. And so when it is done for you, you should be grateful for it and not use the opportunity to further threaten and further make the people to be afraid of the army. Are we supposed to be afraid of the army? We're not. And what did Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement ask for? What we asked for is that the governors of the Niger Delta states should, together with themselves and the traditional rulers of all the different ethnic nationalities in their different states, and the youth bodies and the women bodies, have an open meeting. It's not a secret. And do what the Yorubas have done and say that since the police and the army seem to be unable for now to protect. Look, if we say we're 200 million people in this country, the ratio of army and police to the number of people in the country, even in as much as it is a ratio that is respected internationally, we don't even, our ratio does not tally, it doesn't work. We don't have enough policemen to police our safety. So we should actually have more policemen to police us. But then you don't just wake up one morning and say, as a country, as an army, you're going to, it was almost like saying you're going to conscript the youths of Nigeria so that they will go and fight Boko Haram. Military is supposed to be a career that you choose to go into to defend your country. It is not something you do out of desperation. A government calls out of desperation to say that they're going to start employing youths. Whose children are you calling? Whose children? This our people in the Niger Delta, our people in the in southern Nigeria, in Alandibo and in Yoruba land that cannot find jobs. Are those the ones that you're saying you're going to employ and send where? We also need security down here in the south. And we can put up a neighborhood watch that was squashed while other people's own are standing. And the other governors, I don't know if any other governor, Bayelsa or anybody else, has put up anything since Governor Wike put up the neighborhood watch that was passed into law that was not even allowed to see the light of day. Is it only Governor Wike that is going to do it? Why can't the other state governors also have something similar and call it whatever they want? The Yorubas yesterday, it was agog. They've all simultaneously passed the bill. Everybody has a right. If Mietiala wants to set up their own security outfit, they come from a state. With the Mietiala is not from River State. Are they from River State? They're not now. So they cannot come and set up a security outfit in River State. They have no such right. They haven't. But wherever they come from, they can set up their security outfit wherever states they come from. The same way the Middle Belt is talking about, the same way this new body headed by Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki, the Midwest movement and things like that. The people are getting up because people are worried and people are afraid.